Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a new investigation is launched into the shooting death of a 3-year-old boy.
On the anniversary of Lisbeth Medina's death, her family protests delays in the murder trial of the man accused.
Plus, a Houston lawyer is in jail accused of shooting his special needs son, then burning his remains.
Good evening, everyone. We're looking at quite a bit of cloud cover, but the big rain is coming in this weekend. Giving you a heads up, it's an alert day because of a lot of rain expected by Sunday. We'll have all that coming up in a moment.
And will Ganado and Shiner move on to the state semifinals here tonight? Find out later in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shauna Curry.
And I'm Don Brubaker.
Multiple investigations are underway in the shooting death of a 3-year-old boy.
25 News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman joins us with an update on the story. Amaya?
Yes, Shauna and Don, thank you. Family members confirmed the boy was 3 years old. Marco Javier Garza Jr. goes by MJ, who died in the shooting. Victoria police are investigating. They have ordered an autopsy as a part of that investigation. They're releasing very few other details about the incident. We have also learned that the Child Protective Service has opened an investigation into MJ's death. The shooting happened on the 13,000 block of North Navarro on Monday. We used pictures on MJ yesterday with parents' permission, but the family has since asked that his photo would not be used. We also reached out to the district attorney office to get an update on this story. As of right now, they are not releasing any additional information, but will keep us updated. Shauna and Dawn, back to you.
All right, thank you, Amaya. The family of an Edna murder victim staged a protest in Grand Island, Nebraska today, the 1-year anniversary of her death. 16-year-old Lisbeth Medina, who was born and raised in Grand Island, was found dead in her Edna home last December. 24-year-old Rafael Romero is charged with murder in her death. His defense attorney has asked for more time to process evidence, moving his trial now to February. Lisbeth's mother, Jacqueline Medina, says she's frustrated by the delay and wants justice for her daughter.
Lisbeth was my only daughter, and I was a single mother. So she was all I had, and I was all she had. And my family supporting, my friends supporting, gives me the strength that I feel like I have lost with losing my daughter.
Jacqueline Medina said she found her daughter's body in a bathtub with multiple stab wounds. Edna alumni have set up a memorial scholarship to honor Lisbeth Medina. The Edna class of 1983 set up that memorial scholarship at the Edna Banking Center in her honor. The funds will go to students who want to continue in her cheerleading footsteps. Well, a Houston lawyer is arrested in connection to his son's death in East Texas. Police say he shot his special needs son after believing he was an intruder.
Investigators say the man then proceeded to burn his son's body. Here's more.
Just behind this gate is where the Sabine County Sheriff's Office says 68-year-old Michael Howard of Houston shot and killed his son in the 2500 block of Mount Sinai Road before burning his body.
On December 2nd, 2024, at or about 1400 hours, a deputy from the Sabine County Sheriff's Office was contacted by telephone.
Joseph McDonough with Sabine County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigations says the day after the shooting, Howard called a deputy and told them he accidentally shot his 20-year-old son, Mark Howard, who has high-functioning Down syndrome, after mistaking him for an intruder.
And then his words cremated his son in accordance with what he felt his son would have wanted.
The sheriff's office, with help from Texas Rangers, says Michael showed them where to find Mark's burnt remains, about 2 miles from where the shooting happened. McDonough says Michael Howard owns the over 2,000 acres of property where it all took place. Investigators say Howard used a backhoe to take the body to the remote area and cremated him on top of a wood trash pile.
We did recover what we believe to be body parts and bones, specifically a portion of the lower jaw or the mandible, which contained a few teeth.
Both Michael and his son had been staying on the property since Thursday or Friday, according to McDonough. McDonough says deputies were just called to the property on November 29th in regard to thefts. The sheriff's office believes Michael called his wife and Mark's older brother before he called them.
There were also indications that the scene of the shooting had actually been washed or cleaned using a water hose.
Sabine County District Attorney Paul Robbins says he's in contact with Howard's attorney and they plan to move forward with an indictment before a grand jury. Tyree White, KLTV 7 News.
And the Sabine County District Attorney says some of the charges Howard faces include murder, desecration of a corpse, and tampering with a crime scene. He remains in jail with a $10 million bond.
A broken water line caused some changes to school drop-off this morning. It's now been fixed. Victoria police were at the site early this morning on North and Brownson Streets. North Street was blocked in both directions in front of Patty Welder Middle School. City officials say the repairs to the water main are complete. They also say that they tend to see an increase in water main breaks during droughts and rapid temperature swings, like what we've been seeing here in Victoria and across the region. Well, let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. And Mac, looks like we might get a little bit of help from this drought this weekend. A little bit?
Well, yes, we will get some help on the drought. In fact, actually, it's a big story because we've got big rain coming in. We're talking over an inch on Saturday and possibly 2 inches on Sunday. So yes, that'll help the drought, but it's also going to be a rather sloppy weekend. This frontal system's coming through tonight. It'll be gusty winds tomorrow, but the main event is out there in the southwest. It's a big storm that's going to give us some substantial rain to deal with over the weekend, and we'll have all the details coming up in a moment. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. Texas weighs social media bans for minors as schools and police face challenges. To read the full Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. The Texas Senate will consider a ban on THC products next year. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says some retailers are taking advantage of a 2019 law in order to sell unregulated and potentially harmful THC products. The proposed THC ban will be filed as Senate Bill 3. The low bill number means it's among his top priorities for the upcoming legislative session. Texas has not legalized marijuana in any form for broad use. Hemp and marijuana are both cannabis plants. Marijuana has higher levels of THC compared to hemp, which is the source of CBD.
This brings us to our viewer poll today. Should Texas focus on marijuana legalization instead of a ban? We want to hear from you. If you haven't voted yet, you still can by going to crossroadstoday.com/vote. And right now, 62% of the voters feel that legalization should be looked at as opposed to banning marijuana within the state. But we thank you to everyone who voted tonight. The live streaming platform Twitch is losing advertisers after creators started commenting on the Israel-Gaza conflict. In recent months, big companies like JP Morgan Chase, AT&T, Dunkin', and Chevron have pulled their ads. Chevron, a sponsor of Twitch's semi-annual convention, TwitchCon, was upset by controversial comments made during a panel of Middle Eastern streamers. Twitch is owned by Amazon, which doesn't typically comment on its advertisers, but its CEO said in November that the platform has zero tolerance for racism, hatred, or harassment, including anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. In a rare show of bipartisan agreement in a hearing, senators from both parties are slamming airlines for what they call junk fees.
Now, junk fees are the extra charges for things like choosing seats and checking bags, which the Biden White House and senators say are turning customers into walking piggy banks.
A turbulent hearing on Capitol Hill over the fees that make your airline ticket more expensive.
Nobody enjoys flying on your airlines. It's a disaster. You charge people fees that they know nothing about. You harass them to death.
A Senate subcommittee grilling airline executives over the fees charged for early boarding, better seats, and other conveniences, voicing many travelers' frustrations.
They feel, with more than understandable justification, that they are piggy banks to be shaken down by these skyrocketing fees that seem to have no connection to any costs that the airlines incur.
Senators claim there's a lack of transparency, saying the vague pricing makes it hard for customers to budget.
We're all captives on your airplanes at a certain point. And you just say, you want to pick a seat, we're just going to charge you some random amount more.
But executives rebuting those claims.
Optional services, by definition, are not so-called junk fees, as optional services are not required to travel.
It has never been more affordable to fly. Over time, overall airfares have gone down.
Senators also claim some budget airlines have run a kind of bounty program, paying employees extra to stop passengers if their bags fail to meet certain requirements.
Your airlines are paying millions of dollars to your employees to harass people who've already paid. They're there in line because they've already paid. It's unbelievable.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Honda is recalling more than 200,000 SUVs in the United States over possible fuel leak concerns. The recall includes certain 2023 and 2024 Passport and 2023 and to 2025 Pilot vehicles. Honda says some of the recalled vehicles may have an incomplete connection between the fuel filler neck tube and fuel filler pipe. This could cause the two components to separate in a crash, allowing fuel to leak. The automaker will be contacting registered owners of all affected models by mail in January. Once you receive the notification, you can take your vehicle to an authorized Honda dealer for a free inspection, and if needed, the dealer will make the repair.
Officials of the Food Bank of the Golden Crescent report an increase in food insecurity across rural communities. Officials tell us they are seeing a 12 to 14% increase in the number of individuals they are serving, and more individuals are registering for their mobile distributions. The Food Bank of the Golden Crescent, which serves 11 counties, received a $500,000 grant from Feeding Texas. That's part of a personal donation of $20 million from the CEO of HEB. And HEB is set to host the 24th annual Feast of Sharing holiday dinner in Victoria. On December 18th, a free delicious meal will be served from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Victoria Community Center located at 2905 North Street. The event will also feature live music, arts and crafts, children's activities, and entertainment for all ages. This holiday season, HEB celebrates by giving thanks to its customers and bringing family, friends, and neighbors together.
Remember to subscribe to our Crossroads Today YouTube channel. Hit the like button and click the notification bell, and you can watch all of our news right there on YouTube. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, what everyday habits might quietly increase your cancer risk and what you can do to take control.
Also ahead, new research shows modest gains for U.S. life expectancy ahead, but experts say reducing obesity and drug use could boost the numbers.
Welcome back. According to a new report, up to 40% of cancers may be preventable. The question is how?
The answer is it may not be as complicated as you think.
We all know that cigarette smoking causes cancer. It contributes to almost 20% of diagnoses, but it's not the only lifestyle factor that plays a role. 20% of cancers have also been linked to excess body weight, poor diet, alcohol intake, and physical inactivity. UV light exposure and certain infections such as HPV are also risk factors. These are all things within your control. The American Association for Cancer Research recommends taking the following steps to reduce your risk of cancer. If you smoke, stop. If you drink alcohol, cut back or abstain altogether. Wear sunscreen to protect your skin. Eat right and move more to maintain a healthy weight. And if you're a young adult, there's one more thing to put on your list. Get the HPV vaccine. It can protect you against cervical, anal, and throat cancer. With this Medical Minute, I'm Jacqueline Lee.
U.S. life expectancy could stall in the coming decades, rising from 78.3 years in 2022 to 80.4 by 2050. Researchers at the University of Washington report that the U.S. is expected to lag behind many high and middle income nations, with a smaller increase for women compared to men. While declines in deaths from heart disease, stroke, and diabetes may drive modest gains, researchers say reducing obesity, smoking, and drug use could make a bigger impact. A sheriff's deputy rescues 2 teenagers from a sinking car.
Video released by the St. John County Sheriff's Office in Florida shows the car sinking in a pond and the incredible rescue. Here's the details.
911, where's your rescue? We just crashed into the water.
With only minutes left before their car would be underwater.
Coming in the car. Please hurry up. There's water coming in the car.
2 teenagers escaped from their car in a pond Saturday morning in St. Augustine with the help of Deputy Jade Glines.
Do whatever we have to do. Y'all gotta climb out to us, y'all.
Glines says she rushed into the water, which she later found out was about 20 feet deep.
And mom mode came in and I was like, okay, let me get in the water and figure out how either A, I'm going to swim to them and get them out, or B, came up with the idea to kind of link them together.
Soon after, the 2 18-year-old women escaped the sinking car.
Watch out, watch out! Get off the car! Get off the car!
Glines says she held onto a branch in waist-deep water and told the teens to link arms.
Swim, kick your feet! So I told them, like, hey, I'm gonna grab your hand, you grab your friend's hand, and I will pull you guys to me. That's because the distance wasn't too far. Hey, come on. They were for sure in shock. It was freezing. I think it was the coldest morning we've had here in St. Augustine at the time.
But they were safe. According to AAA, submerged vehicle accidents have the highest fatality rate. They say to remember the acronym SURE: stay calm, unbuckle, roll down the window, and exit. AAA advises keeping a vehicle escape tool that cuts a seatbelt and can break the window.
I carry one in my personal car.
Glines says to call 911 right away. A first responder like her will come to help this time and the next.
We want to save lives.
Well, good evening, everyone. 61 degrees right about now. The winds are going to be picking up. Right now, they're about 10 miles an hour. They should be getting up into the 20-mile-an-hour range by tomorrow. We got a little frontal system coming in. Our high today was only 64. Yeah, it was cool, and it's going to be even colder for the next couple of days as not only the front comes through, but the big rain that I expect for the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up in just a moment. Well, it'll be overcast tonight and tomorrow, still on the cloudy side, but it's going to be a little cooler. And we're looking for rain to actually return to the area. That first storm is pretty much gone. There you see the little frontal system just north of the I-10 corridor. This will be here overnight. Tomorrow morning, it'll be a little windier. So if you had a hoodie this morning, you're going to need it again tomorrow because that wind will be rather biting. Now, out to the southwest, right here, we're looking at what is called an upper air low. Now, when we have a low at the surface, you can see the wind going round and round like a hurricane. This one is up in the upper atmosphere, but it is spinning around, and you can see how it's beginning to trigger off some shower activity, even some snow showers at the higher elevation. That thing will be rolling over Texas over the weekend, and it'll be making your weekend rather soggy. Yeah, we're looking for a lot of rain, actually. Tonight, our temperatures getting down to the upper 40s, as you see right about here, but the freeze line runs from East Texas through Dallas down toward Abilene and up toward the Lubbock area. Tomorrow should be a little cooler. As a matter of fact, we'll barely get into upper 50s. We might not even get to 60 degrees. And of course, with that wind getting a little stronger, we'll feel a little colder. So just keep that in mind as you step out the door in the morning. At some point in time, you're going to need the coat because it's going to be on the cool side. Now, through the next 3 days, we're going to show you how much rain and where the rain. All right, so we go from Thursday on into Friday, and you can see how we're here. We're not getting, this is only precipitation. We're not getting cloud cover. I mean, we've got cloud cover. We're getting the rain out here. But as we go from Friday into Saturday, you start seeing these streaks of rain showers that start coming up from the southwest with that low. And then as we get to Sunday, yikes, it gets pretty heavy. So here's Victoria County. We're looking at an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain, maybe up to 3 inches of rain down along the immediate coastline. So those of you down in Matagorda, in Calhoun County, consider that you're probably going to get a little bit heavier rain down there. So yeah, I know it's the weekend and you had plans, right? But this one's going to be including driving very carefully because you see the cloud cover here. This is Friday. And then we get the little light rain showers up from the south. The heavier stuff's coming in from the west with that system. And by the time we get to Saturday, well, it starts raining more significantly. And as a matter of fact, when we get into Sunday, right about now, we may even have a couple thunder showers around the area. So 1 to 2 inches of rain, we can deal with. Anything more than that, we may have a little localized flooding, and so we're going to have to watch it. Here's Friday. There you see the rain for Friday. And then Saturday, there you see the rain for Saturday. And there's Sunday, you see the rain. And then it finally starts pulling out of here. When that starts moving away, that's because we have got a frontal system coming down. And this is a big cold front. As you can see, we were looking for ice and snow in the panhandle. That frontal system will pass through here probably Monday night, and that will make it rather chilly for the early part of next week. Looking for lots of clouds tomorrow, a little rain coming in late in the day on Friday, high of only 58 degrees. Cuero, pretty much same thing, overcast all day long. Wear the jacket or the Carhartt. Yeah, make it look real manly. Anyway, so Friday, 30%, 60% Saturday and Sunday, 50%. We may have some thunderstorms there on Sunday. Monday still on the cloudy, cool side, but then this front really drops the temperatures down into the 50s and overnights getting down into the 30s by middle of next week. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. And here's Maxwell with sports.
All right, Max, so after the break, we're going to find out who this week's Athlete of the Week is, and will Shiner and Ganado take care of business tonight? Stay here, and I'll tell you all that coming up in sports. All right, everyone, we had 2 regional final matchups here in the playoffs tonight with Ganado facing Marlin and Shiner facing the Junction Eagles here. But before we get to these games here tonight, we want to look at our Athlete of the Week, and it's going to be going to Tidehaven quarterback Cale Russell. Here's more for our Athlete of the Week. This week, Athlete of the Week goes to Tidehaven quarterback Cale Russell, who led the Tigers to a 35-13 victory over the Van Fleck Leopards last week. Russell ran for 3 touchdowns and threw for 1 passing touchdown in their victory there last week. Even with all those stats he piled up, though, for Russell, he still gave credit and shout-out to his offensive line.
Linemen got a good push. They got to the linebackers. Jakin, the running back, was a great blocker. Our receivers blocked well, so it was just me just following my guys and trusting my guys that they're going to get the job done so that, you know, I can do what I did.
Now, even though Cale gives credit to his teammates and everyone on the field, Tidehaven head coach David Lucio knew that Cale was going to be a special talent at a young age.
Cale's always been a hard worker. The first time I ever met Cale, when I first got the job here, his dad's one of my coaches, and I was walking by the gym, and he was in the gym by himself, and he was in the 2nd grade, I think, and he was doing drills by himself. And that's not common for a 2nd grader to be drilling, so usually they're jacking up threes and pretending they're trying to dunk it and stuff, and he was sitting there doing drills. And that was when I knew he was going to be special.
With Russell being this driving force for this offense since he's been here, he always wants to accept the challenge in front of him, and no bigger one than tomorrow night.
I wouldn't say nerves, I wouldn't say pressure. We feel like pressure is an opportunity for greatness, you know. So we look forward to pressure. We look forward to games like this because, you know, that's what we strive for. We strive to be playing in December.
Russell and the Tigers are hoping to reach the 3A Division II state championship back-to-back years with a big win tomorrow night versus the Lexington Eagles. Wish Tidehaven luck. Congrats to Cale Russell for being this week's Athlete of the Week. All right, congrats again there to Cale Russell for being this week's Athlete of the Week. But now, let's get to everyone's moment they want to look at here. Tonight's games there in the 2A ranks. Let's look at Ganado. They looking to try to advance to the state semifinals here since 2023 after beating Refugio 14-6 last week. And again, both teams were struggling earlier to get kind of the offense going. There's a total of 4 turnovers there, 2 from each team in the first half alone. But again, Ganado made some good plays. How about this tackle right there, getting them down on the ground? That's Bryce Ullman on the defensive side. We know he's the quarterback there on the offensive side, making a big-time play. And then how about this on the offensive side, right? Gets a quick pass there on the outside there to Austin Pena, and he takes it there to the house. Again, we've seen that a lot this year with Ullman and Pena making a lot of those plays there for the Ganado Indians. And again, Ganado also got their running game going as well. Came to life there in the middle of the first half. It's thanks to Logan Burrs, who gets there right to the end zone and again gets the touchdown. And Logan Burrs would also get a kickoff return touchdown as well. And the final score here in this game turning out here for Ganado, 41-14 there over the Marlin Bulldogs there. And for Ganado, they're going back there to the state semifinals since 2023. We do know who they're going to play. Their opponent, it's going to be the Joaquin Rams. They're in the next round there. Going to be next week. Time and place we'll figure out there next week. Now, how about the Shiner Comanches? They're also trying to reach state semifinals as well, facing the Junction Eagles there in San Antonio Hero Stadium. Again, will they get this win, though? Again, for Shiner, they're trying to get back. It's been a while since they've been there. And guess what? Carson Schutte, the quarterback, scrambled out there, gets to the end zone there for the touchdown, and the early 7-0 lead there for the Comanches there. Carson Schutte, again, he's done this all year. Again, this rushing attack has been on point. And guess what? How about this nice run here for Ishmael Zamora, getting in there, power football for the touchdown. And again, Quincy Jones, another player that made a big-time play, and Shiner would get a shutout victory over the Junction Eagles tonight. 27-0. Kind of a little bit of surprise there. Good win there for the Comanches because now, guess what? They're back to the state semifinals. They're going to face the Grapeland Sandys or the Fremont Tigers. Again, that game will be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for who will be the opponent there facing Shiner. So, Ganado, Shiner got the job done. Tomorrow, we have Edna, Tidehaven, and Bay City. Again, 2 3A teams, a 1 4A team. See if they can make it there also to the state semifinals as well. That's going to do it here for sports. Don and Shauna, back to you.
Max, thank you. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. From a couch potato to commercial star, a Rhode Island pup is living the dream, one treat at a time.
Well, giant cockroaches might make you cringe, but they could soon help save lives after disasters. Australian researchers are turning these creepy crawlers into biohybrid robots by attaching tiny circuit boards to control their movements. The idea is to send them into dangerous disaster zones to locate survivors or deliver aid. While some debate the ethics of these cyborg bugs, others believe the potential to save lives outweighs the concerns. Interesting.
Global color specialist Pantone has named Mocha Mousse its color of the year for 2025. The company describes it as an evocative soft brown. Pantone Color Institute Executive Director Leatrice Eisman says the color evokes thoughtful indulgence. Each December, the company names a color of the year for the following year. To make their pick, experts at the Pantone Color Institute look at interior design trends, pop culture moments, and high fashion runways.
I guess we're transitioning out of the grays now back to the browns.
Oh yeah, grays and browns, and then what's the color of like wet rain? What is? Do we have a color on that?
It's called green.
Green?
Sky green.
Sky green. Well, there you go. Okay.
It's one of those chartreuse greens. It's been so long, Don, I'm not really sure. You know? I mean, it's been 3 months since we've had significant rainfall, and it may be this weekend that we match that. Tomorrow, Friday, cloudy, windy, and chilly, only topping out at about 58, 59, but then heavy rain expected on Saturday and Sunday. So you are forewarned.
All right. Well, a Rhode Island dog is living the celebrity life after starring in a pet food commercial because he really loves to eat. The family never expected much when they sent a photo of their slightly chubby beagle named Waylon to a company looking for overweight dogs. But soon, Waylon was in a commercial, traveling to Chicago and New York, even had a big blow-up made that looks like him. He's now 4 pounds lighter thanks to a healthy diet and exercise. And Waylon is loving his newfound fame and camera time. The family never expected it, but they say they wouldn't trade the experience for anything. So it'll be a good weekend this weekend to be a couch potato.
That's right.
Yes, that's what we'll be doing.
Yes. Well, thanks for joining us tonight.
Join us 25 News Now Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night.